I think everybody can kind of agree. We kind of treat our family like, I have not hugged anyone like since but I tend to take it for granted, and I'm speaking from that place when I say, I mean, it's just a nice thing. You're not gonna regret it. You already know the drill. Cue that intro. Bring the beat in. Hey, welcome to Driving with Zen. Welcome to Driving with Zen. Driving, hey. Welcome to Driving with Zen. Driving with Zen. Yeah, I need some type of jingle or something. If you're not already part of Team Z, make sure to hit the subscribe button. You already know what to do. Post notifications, because we shake it up, no Disney over here. And check out for the next one so that you don't miss it. All right? Because they're really going to add something to your life. That is a promise. Like, that's on period. That's on me. Like, that's on my channel. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to add something to your life. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. What do I want to talk about today? I love the sun. You guys know this. I love the sun. The sun is shining. The day is beautiful. My teeth are clean. I want to talk about appreciating family. Okay, let's start here. Every family has its ups and downs. Every family has its levels of dysfunction because we're all human beings, right? Families are made up by human beings who have individual traumas, individual fears, individual triggers, and they also have their own strengths. Like, everybody has their idiosyncrasies that make them who they are. And, you know, as human beings, sometimes that doesn't always gel, but other times it does. So I'm going to speak to the families that are functional. I think it's important to be grateful for your family members and to let them know. I mean, this is a common thing. We kind of treat our family like whatever because we know that they can never leave. It's kind of like with your friends. You treat them well because it's like, oh, I don't want them to stop being my friend. It's just this level of entitlement that we tend to feel with our family. Whether that's feeling entitled to a parent always cooking for us. We take our family for granted. A lot of the different things that have become norms in our families, we kind of assume that everybody else does that until you visit somebody else's family or you see how they interact with each other and you're like, girl, what is this, honey? What is happening? Like, I thought we all do this. Y'all don't do that. And it's different, right? Like, that's why when you have roommates and stuff, you just realize, like, yo, people live life a whole different way than how I live life. But we take our families for granted sometimes, and let's not stay in that. I'm not on TikTok, but I saw this little video going around. Apparently there's this trend of like randomly hugging your family members without them like knowing, and just hugging them. Just stay there in that hug until they hug you back or do something or feel awkward or whatever. You just stay there in that hug. And I really want to try that with my family. I'm not going to record it because who would record it? There's like 3 people in my family. But I thought that was so beautiful. And I live by myself. I think about like, wow, I have not hugged anyone like since I last saw my family or since I last saw my friends because they're huggers too. But I just think about that. Like, I have not hugged someone in so long. And there are times I've just like really missed my family members and I just wish I could hug them and stuff like that. And again, we take it for granted when we have the opportunity to do that on a daily basis. Sometimes it takes like moving away or a pandemic or, you know, even something as terrible as a death to realize, like, when you have that human to human connection, like touching your family, holding their hand, like just being around them, sitting close to them so that your legs touch, even though that does annoy me. But, you know, things like that, you don't always get that. In 2019 and 20, there have been so many people who died. So forgive me if I sound a little bit desensitized to death. I guess I'll put a trigger warning. It's just that it's happened so many times that I now kind of view it like almost objectively. What I noticed from like looking at the people who I have seen who are dead is like, you just realize that the person's body is so separate from them being them. You know what I mean? You just realize, seeing someone's body in a casket, you realize that they are not their body. Zen is not her body. You see the body there, but just knowing that the person is not there, the mind, the consciousness is absent, is silent, is unreachable, that's very eerie, because you just realize that, like, even if you hold that person's hand, they can't hold your hand back. Like, they're not there. We shouldn't take physical touch for granted. Like, and I'm the queen of that. Like, I don't like hugs typically. Like, if I don't know you, I would really prefer if you didn't try to hug me. I will hug you, but I will be uncomfortable. But I tend to take it for granted, and I'm speaking from that place when I say you should hug your loved ones while they're there. Hold their hands. I don't care if you're a dude and you feel like it's corny to hold your dad's hand or hold your mom's hand. I don't care how old you are. You think you're too cool for that. If you're whatever, like, no, like, go and hold your parents' hands. Hold them, hug them, like, give them goodnight hugs, like, give them goodnight kisses. Whatever affection looks like in your family, go ahead and do that. It's just a nice thing. You're not gonna regret it. We need to appreciate our family a whole lot more. Even siblings, like, I know that siblings are annoying and stuff like that, but I have I mean, you just kind of realize if you don't have siblings, your life is kind of empty in a different way. I'm not saying it's meaningless. I'm not saying that if you don't have siblings, like, your life is trash. I mean, just kidding. You know, there's so many times that we who have siblings are like, I wish I was an only child. Like, you just feel that anger. Really, we need to appreciate our siblings a lot more, because there's this emptiness when they're not there. When my brother was in surgery, there was that 8-hour window where he wasn't there. Like, he was under anesthetic and stuff like that, and obviously with surgeries, like, you just never know what's gonna happen. Like, I have an aunt who didn't wake up from a surgery and stuff like that. Like, it happens, right? That's why you sign that that waiver saying that, like, you're aware that it could happen, that anything is possible. But, you know, there's that time where he was in surgery and he, like, wasn't there. Like, I was just at the house by myself. We had all dropped him off at the hospital. I felt this, like, emptiness and this, like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like people with a twin. I think y'all know what I'm talking about. People who are, like, very close to their siblings or very close in age. Like, for me, my brother is very much like my twin. We're almost like one complete person together. That's how close I feel with my brother. And, like, when he was undergoing that surgery, I can remember, like, just, I wasn't afraid, but it was just something not right. It's weird, like, when you're separate from your siblings, you know what I mean? Like, there's just this disconnect. So what I'm saying is that, like, we should appreciate our siblings while they're there. Like, ask them questions, annoy them, you know what I mean? Like, just be there, just give them a hug, show them affection, even though it may not be your thing. Tell them that you're proud of them, tell them that you love them so much, and, like, I don't know, just see if you can, like, annoy them with affection, you know what I mean? Like, find a way to just connect with your siblings and have those, like, conversations that are, like, deeper. I feel like with family, you get to a certain age where you just get to know these people who you're related to as people. Like, you're not seeing your mom as a mom who has to cook for you guys, or who has to wake you up for school, or who has to do whatever, fill in the blank. You don't see your dad as a dad, you know, figure of, and everything that entails as well, who has to do this, who has to do that. You don't see your sibling as someone who's just an annoying little bug. You know, you see them as people. Like, my mom is someone who is artistic, and my mom is someone who is smart. My mom had a life before me, and she'll have a life after I'm gone. Gone as in, like, out of the house. Even with your dad, like, he was a person before. Like, seeing them as a kid, seeing his school day photos, and, like, all his memories with his little friends, and his dreams and his hopes, and all the different things that make him unique. And even with your brother and your sister, whatever, like, all your siblings, I feel like we need to take that time to get to know them as people, as individuals, as if you're not related to them, like, and don't take them for granted. Take pictures with your family. Like, this is something I don't think a lot of families do. Take pictures with them, take videos with them, record their voices, record their mannerisms. Just have those memories so that you can carry that with you. Whenever you miss them, you can like play those voice notes. Send them voice notes too. Like I said, whenever you miss them, you can just reconnect and appreciate them, hug them, like get to know what they smell like in their unique way. Like, I know I'm sounding really weird with it. I don't know if you can hear me. You really appreciate all of these details that you paid attention to later on. Like, you'll not regret it. If you pay attention, you invest so much into your family and getting to know them, like their favorite songs, their favorite albums, everything like that. You just won't regret it. And also you'll find like you guys have so much in common. One of the things I love most is talking to my family about like different topics and hearing their views on different things. Because a lot of the time I'm like, yo, I think the same thing, and it's like it makes sense because I grew up around these people, so obviously they're my influence. It also just kind of contextualizes yourself as a person. Even talking to my cousin, I was realizing, like listening to her, I'm like, girl, I do the exact same thing for the exact same reason. You just realize how much you have in common with these people, and so much of yourself just makes sense. Sometimes in life, like you can feel so alone, like am I the only one reacting like this? Like, am I tripping, or like what, you know what I mean? Or there's like an inside joke that happens and you're like, oh, I wish I could tell my family, like, you know, I wish they were here too, because they would be just laughing with me. And it's so many different things that make more sense in the context of your family. That's why I'm saying, like, get to know them as people, because then you get to know yourself as well. You get to understand yourself and your connection to them. It's called an interdependent view of your identity, where it's like you do have yourself as an individual, but you're also seeing your connection to your relatives. It just like makes everything make sense. I guess maybe this is just my cultural perspective and my bias. I think it's a good thing to apply no matter where you're from or what your culture is. Anyway, guys, that was me. Yeah, all right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I value all of you, each and every one of you. We are on the road to 1K. Thank you so much to everybody who has been here. Thank you to everybody who is joining. And yeah, I will see you in the next one.